You ever watch those people on the news? They're standing out in the middle of a hurricane, reporting about how strong the winds are and how much rain there is and how devastating things are. Those people seem kind of idiotic, don't they? Well, I'm one of those today. But we're here in South Carolina at our kids' house in their driveway, and we've just experienced Tropical Storm Helene, which came last night onto shore in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. It's made its way up through Florida, the Carolinas, and we've had some pretty amazing weather the last few hours. It's been raining for about 2 days straight, and last night we got the winds and we got the driving rain. And as you can see, we had a bit of damage. Huge wind gusts, trees down, power lines down. In fact, this power line is right at the end of the driveway where we're parked in. And it's been a pretty harrowing evening. So you're traveling around in your RV and a storm's coming. What do? So what I thought I'd do is go through a few things that you might want to be aware of when a major storm comes through if you're in your RV. Because we're in our RV, as you can see. We're parked, we're safe, but I'm still standing in the middle of a tropical storm. Just for you. Stay tuned.
Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
It's a little bit scary when you're in an RV and you hear of a major storm coming on and you think, what do we do? So I thought I'd stand outside in a major storm, or at least at the end of a major storm, to let you know a few of the things that we went through to try to make sure we were safe as an impending storm came in, because sometimes you just can't avoid them. You've got to make it through them. So the first thing I would suggest is if you hear a major storm's coming in and you can move. It's one of the best things about being an RV, right? You're on wheels, you can move, and you want to get out of the path of the storm, because these tin boxes are not made for major category hurricanes or even minor category hurricanes. So move if you can. Get out of the area, get farther away, get to the outskirts of the worst of the storm if at all possible. Once you get out of the area, make sure you park somewhere away from trees if at all possible. You can see our area here, we're still around a bunch of trees, but we are in an open area, so hopefully if branches fall, they're not going to fall on the rig. In fact, we had branches fall, and as you can see, this area is where I had my truck parked for a while, and it's not here anymore, thank goodness, because these branches would have fallen right on it and could have caused some pretty good damage. Make sure you empty your black and gray tanks. You know, after a major storm, a lot of times dump facilities and sewer facilities aren't available anymore. So you want to make sure that you have as much time as you can with empty tanks before you have to dump somewhere. Also make sure to fill your fresh tanks, because after a major storm you just don't know when you'll have access to clean fresh water. The next thing you want to do is to make sure you gas up your rig. You want to make sure that you've got a full tank of gas if at all possible. And if you have a generator, make sure that you have fuel for the generator. One thing that I like about my Powerboost hybrid Ford truck is that this particular truck has a battery in it and it has a generator, and so I'm able to plug in 220 30 amp if I need to into this truck and run the engine as a generator. So I don't carry a separate generator, I just use the fuel in the truck. And the pluses to that are, I've got a generator wherever I need it. The negative is I'm using my truck gas to power my generator, but as long as my tank is full, I should be able to handle that. Stocking up is a good idea. We stocked up on some fresh water while we were out filling up our gas tank, and we also have some food in the rig. So we want to make sure that you've got supplies that are going to last you a few days, so you don't have to leave or go to the store or do anything like that. If you're running propane, fill up your propane. Make sure that all of your supplies and all of your fuel levels are topped off. You should be doing this anyway, but make sure that your tires are well aired up, that you check your oil level, check your vehicle, and make sure that it's going to get you out of the situation if you need to flee. You don't want to be airing up your tires when you're trying to escape a flood. Make sure your tires are well chocked, that your rig is level, and that you're as secure as possible. You want to be on pretty solid ground if you can, and that really helps when the winds come to keep you from, you know, toppling over or blowing down the road. You want to make sure you're chocked, and I usually chock because winds are coming. Even if I'm on a grade, which I am here, I'm chocked on both sides of the tire to make sure that I don't move forward or backward in the heavy wind. If you have batteries, make sure they're charged up, topped off, so that you got full electrical power in case the power goes out, which is what happened to us. You can see the power pole top snapped off on 2 power poles. All of the wiring ended up down in the street and across the yard in the house that we're staying. So you want to be very careful. Stay away from down branches, down power lines, down power poles. Make sure you stay safe. And because the ground is wet, even if you're not right next to the down power lines, if you step in wet grass, wet water, you can still be electrocuted. So stay away from down power lines and report them to the power company or call 911. Make sure you charge up your devices. You want to make sure that you have good batteries in case you need to contact emergency services or just find out about weather updates. So one of our tips is that you may want to have an alternative way to get online. We have T-Mobile service, and where we are right now, it's just not very good. And so we have this kind of cheap Android phone that's hooked to Visible, which is on the Verizon network. So it only costs us about $25 a month, but it's unlimited data, and it lets us have a mobile hotspot on another network. So now we have 2 chances to be able to get online from wherever we are instead of just one with T-Mobile. You can also try Starlink and some other options. The problem with Starlink in the middle of a storm is you're not going to be able to use it. You don't want it sitting outside on a pole in a hurricane. So having an alternative cell phone carrier might not be a bad investment. It's been pretty good for us. Download weather apps to your phone before you have an emergency or before you need them. We have iPhone, and so we use the iPhone Apple weather app. We also use weather.com or the Weather Channels app, and we have an app called Windy, which allows us to see wind gusts and wind directions. I like using that, especially when I'm driving across the plains. And you may have your preferred app too, but having those with shortcuts or buttons or apps on your phone and other devices is handy to be able to see exactly what's happening in your area in real time. And stay put. I mean, there's no need to go out and about when you're in a major storm or even after a storm. In our case, I know that emergency crews are all throughout, utility crews are all throughout the area of Greenville, South Carolina, which is where I am right now. There are about 300,000 households without power right now, according to the power company. So we reported our down power line, and we're sitting put. We've got our devices, we have a good book, we're fine. So we're going to hold out for the duration and not be part of the problem. Hopefully part of the solution. As much as I tell you to be prepared to stay where you are, stay put, find a safe place, also be prepared to move. Because if you get a warning on your phone, if you get a warning from officials driving by and telling you, you might have to evacuate right away. And so you want to always be prepared to be able to hook up quickly and to move quickly if you need to. So thanks for watching. We hope that you've stayed safe during this last storm bout, because there's many more to come. And we're just gonna live through them because we're part of the RV community and this is the way we roll. Stay out of danger's way. My number one tip. We've got great technology nowadays which lets us look and see where storms are forecast, and hopefully we can steer clear. Next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled episodes, our travel episodes. We'll be taking you to the Nightlight Rally in Texas and hopefully see a nice eclipse, but we'll see. You have to kind of tune in for that. Hopefully you've subscribed to our channel. You know, it really helps, and we enjoy reading all of your comments. So like, thumbs up, subscribe, and give us a comment. We hope that this information has been helpful. Some of it's just common sense, but it's good to be reminded. You know what? Don't be afraid of weather. Be prepared for the weather. That's what we say. You gotta live life, so just be prepared. Thank you for liking, subscribing, maybe sending this episode to a friend or family member who RVs and might need encouragement and a reminder on, you know, what to do in case they hit inclement weather. For Karen, Wesley, and myself, we wish you happy travels. See you next time. Now I think we have some cleaning up to do.